Welcome in. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. That's Jackson Bennett Burkett. Jackson, I'm losing my voice. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Losing my vocal proclivities?
You are the man in the arena.
Teddy Roosevelt?
Yeah. Is he your favorite Roosevelt?
I don't get into politics.
Fair. Mine's Eleanor.
314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line, and then the YouTube chat. They are in there. I know now who Jackson reminds me of, and it's Joffrey from Game of Thrones. That's from Ryan Crawford.
The Boy King?
Yeah. Are you the Boy King?
No, I hope I have a better ending. Oof.
Spoiler alert. Great.
Oh, I mean, that would be like a nepotism thing, and I think I've proven that I've blazed my own trail.
I agree with that.
So it kind of would be impossible.
Do you find yourself as a child of privilege, though, with being a Horton Watkins graduate? I mean, at St. Gabriel's, we make our own bones. We bust tables at PH Rose. We grind.
I was very fortunate that my parents worked quite hard, put me in a good situation, not only from a financial standpoint, but with their love and support and always championing anything I do, all my efforts.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I'm very grateful in that sense. So I think, in all honesty, I'm more privileged by the love and support of my family than any monetary value could ever provide. You know, you could have all the money in the world, but without love, who are you?
Oh, my gosh. I feel like we should end the show right there. I'm not talking about just today, I think permanently.
Look at Charles Foster Kane. He died wealthy and alone.
Did he really? Is that right?
Yeah, Rosebud.
And they named one of the nines at Forest Park after him.
That's Dogwood. And it's my favorite nine, but it can get away from me if you're not careful.
Yeah, heads up on Dogwood, everybody. Text in 314-399-9646. And, of course, the YouTube chat. Please don't lose that sexy voice, Tim. That's from your mom's boyfriend.
It's interesting because I kind of like the, I know it's probably not comfortable, but the kind of grizzled.
I sound like Tone Loc.
You do.
Watch this, 1989. Watch this. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
And in van 2. Let's do it. That's how Wild Thing opens. I bet people don't know that.
Yeah, now they do because we provide information.
Who did Tone Loc sample for Wild Thing? And then we'll get into the Marlins game.
I don't know on that. What you said, 89?
Watch this.
Is that AC/DC?
I don't think so. Somebody in the YouTube channel know. This is why Jackson's so unrelatable. He doesn't come from dysfunction. That's from your mom's boyfriend.
That's fair. If I have to wear that one, I'll wear that one.
Sweetest thing I've ever heard Jack B say. That's from MD 2020.
Certified truth. You know, Tone Loc was in the movie Heat with Al Pacino.
Yeah, I think I did know that, actually. Yeah. And I also think he was in Ace Ventura.
Pet Detective or OG?
Somebody will have to check on that.
Or is it?
Let's do it.
Oh, that is the OG. What was the second one? When Nature Calls.
Yeah, Sean Young. And she had a ween? Am I right on that? Somebody looked that up, too. Yeah, I think that was an alarming twist. It was a big theme of early 90s film where there'd be a surprising ween toward the end. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Love to see it brought back.
Sure.
But I'm just telling you with the crying game, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Somewhere under the rainbow.
Correct. Panther emerging from under the bed. Little alfalfa hairstyle, though. Delightful lover. Jackson, I know you have prepared a series of questions today. What do you have?
Today's pack of questions is called All Work and No Piddles Makes Jack a Dull Boy.
Nice.
So
that's so good.
I think the people really get into that one. Pause for laughter.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to do with this. And I might make sure we go through all 6 just to see that there are really 6 questions. That's kind of the angle I'm taking. Because Jackson's Club has another member guest this weekend, and I'm a guest.
It's a rare back-to-back. We didn't have one last year.
So I won't be here. My work ethic on 101 ESPN is very odd, but my work ethic on 101 ESPN amongst a portion of the audience is called into question. It's a phenomenon. Even though I ran a radio station, and I hosted morning drive and afternoon drive, but somehow I have a terrible work ethic with some in this audience. Well, guess what? I'm gone tomorrow, I'm gone Monday, I'm gone Tuesday, and I'm gone Wednesday. What's he gonna do, brother?
Take that, dirty rat.
Thank you. Jackson, what's the first question of all work and no piddles makes Jack a dull boy.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect. Descent into madness you're about to witness. Okay. A disheartening series in general, after losing 2 of 3 to the Marlins when a sweep was also on the table, and if we're being honest, also getting swept was right there. I know it's a goofy coach speak, and this is kind of, or feel free to rip into my wounded soul, but do these close battles, win or lose, make for a more tested team in the long run? Not saying
God.
Not to say it's good to lose.
What is going on?
Not to say it's good to lose.
What is your deal?
Not to say it's good to lose late, just for the sake of being in that spot. But if a team is going to be successful, then games like these are going to have to be addressed. No? God, that's such a bad question.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I guess in the end, we have a win because you couldn't even get through it without realizing the script that they provided you was going to destroy your career.
So bad.
You are a rights holder, and we are having a balloon party.
So bad. I can't believe I wrote that down.
I can't believe it either. I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
I like, there's nothing I struggle with more than trying to come up with something of the slightest interest.
Here, no problem. Because I know that you try. And that's why I said I'm going to make sure we go through all 6 questions. I don't know what, you can't even fake a UFL question.
I think I should have wrote that's a draft question and then get back to it later, and I just never got back to it, and then I read it.
So just to be clear, like a college football team rebuilding, you're spinning close losses to the Marlins.
I don't know what I'm asking.
As hey, maybe this will test the team now and they'll be rewarded handsomely.
No, I know, it's so dumb. I don't know why I even asked.
It's fine.
It's so bad.
Hey, you know what? Right now, there's self-awareness and there's honesty, and I think the audience appreciates it despite what I'm reading in the YouTube chat and the text inbox.
So dumb. Well, should we bench Alec Burleson because he can't? I don't know what to ask after one Cardinal game. I don't know.
It's fine. Hey, you're a prince. You're a sweet prince.
I was banging my head against on the console itself today, trying to come up with some good stuff, and I did come up with some good stuff. Just that first question stinks. I got to be honest.
It's okay.
So bad, but it goes up from there because it's hard to go down. Well,
okay.
It's impossible to go down.
Okay.
Why is it hot in here?
Oh no,
I'm starting to sweat.
I feel
I'm perspiring right here.
I think there's a chill in the air, like an Alberta Clipper just came through.
Not on this side of the desk.
Well, I mean, let's turn our attention. Let's move past Miami because the atmosphere there probably played a role.
Yeah, you're right. Sea level.
Off to Birmingham for what should be quite a spectacle this evening as the Cardinals and Giants meet and honor Willie Mays, a ballpark that opened in 1910, Rickwood Field, taking on the Giants. Let's turn our attention to that.
Let's do that.
Day off on Friday, and then you can tell yourself that, here they come.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep.
So there you go. Everything is fine.
All right, I do have a question about Rickwood Field, actually.
All right, let's take it.
Today's game against the Giants will not be played at Busch Stadium, as their game Saturday and Sunday will be. And today will be played against the Giants at Rickwood Field in Birmingham as a tribute to the Negro Leagues. This isn't the only MLB game this year to take place in a unique setting, with baseball already played in London this month, much like the Cardinals did last season.
This is one of the cases right now. This is what I would say. Okay?
Uh-huh.
This is Thomas Dietrich. He was at the top of the leaderboard, but we saw him rushing through his swing on Saturday, and we knew it was going to fall off. You're not present. You're thinking about a past mistake, or you're thinking about the future challenge of being at the top of the leaderboard, the final group on Sunday. Let's slow our swing down. Let's slow our thoughts down, and let's be present with each shot. Are we going to do 4-7-4 breathing? Okay. Let's inhale for 4 seconds. Hold. 7 seconds. Hold it. Hold it. Mel Gibson, Braveheart. Hold it. And now we're going to exhale for 4 seconds. Sweet release. How sweet. Fresh meat. Freddy Krueger.
More
1989. Docking.
Big day for 1989.
It is.
Who was the World Series champions in 89?
Giants.
All right, and who are the Cardinals playing tonight? Giants.
No, it's full circle. It was mapped out that way in the show prep meeting.
I'm back.
All right, yeah, it's the breathing. It's the breathing. So what's your question? How does playing at Rickwood Field mean the Cardinals are the best team in the world?
I won't stand for this. I felt back. All right, I'm going again. I'm going to pick up that post-it note later. Thursday's Cardinal game, today's, against the Giants, will not be played at Busch Stadium, as their game Saturday and Sunday will be. Today's game will be played against the Giants at Rickwood Field in Birmingham as a tribute to the Negro Leagues. This isn't the only MLB game this year to take place in a unique setting, with baseball already played in London this month, much like the Cards did last season. In general, are you a fan of these baseball games being played in different venues than the traditional home ballpark? Does it give the marathon-long season some much-needed parity? And would you be on board with more special venues and destinations in the future?
I will most likely go out of my way to make sure that I'm able to enjoy the festivities tonight, more so than if it were at Busch Stadium.
Agreed.
I'm all for more. You have 162 games. You've totally diminished the value of the regular season by letting 12 teams into the playoffs. So got to do something.
Yeah, I think it's one thing like with football going to random stadiums, as we were told, of course, so going to play a home game in London and only having 7 in St. Louis would increase tourism.
Very unique line taken by Kevin Demoff.
Yeah, that would really improve.
But otherwise,
right,
straightforward guy.
100%. Yeah, rock solid. So I think it's one thing, but when you're taking one of 81 home games a year away from a home fan base, I think it's a little bit less. And I think it's really cool, great for TV, because like you said, probably a lot more interest tonight in a game played at Rickwood Field as opposed to Busch Stadium.
Especially with Palante and Keaton Wynn.
Yeah, I got some information on Keaton Wynn coming up later.
Been a little rough for him.
Yeah, he throws a lot of splitters.
Oh, is this one of your Jamie Rivers picks to click? What? This Jackson's a sharp, everybody, if you want to get paid.
Saying I don't know, with the new field thing, it's kind of tough to handicap. I'm not positive on everything that's going to go on tonight, but I have some information coming up later.
Okay.
I just really I liked the games in London. I like when the Cardinals went to London. I like the games in Mexico.
You
that
like
was really
monarchies,
cool.
Right?
Nowhere I'd rather be than Buckingham Palace.
Is that right?
That's right, yeah. Prince and Princess of Wales. Either way. I really liked the Field of Dreams game. I think that's really cool. I think you got to in baseball, it's so cool because each ballpark is unique. Like when you go to football fields, the dimensions are all the same. For the most part, soccer fields, obviously basketball and hockey rinks are the exact same, but baseball is unique where the dimensions are so different, fields are so different. I think utilize that, and I think that's a great way to do it, and I love what they're doing tonight.
I'm looking forward to watching. Where else would you like to see him play, Jackson?
Other countries, like in Europe, I think a game in Paris would be cool. I think a game in Belgium would be cool. But I also think, didn't they play at the Little League World Series in Williamsport? Yeah, love that. Love that. That's a good question, Tim. A really good question.
Off air, you told me you feel like St. Charles is another country.
Yes.
So would you like to see maybe them play it at the ballpark?
What's the status on Heine Miney? Can we get 20,000
taken over by rabid dogs?
Got it. Okay, so we'll clear out the dogs.
Just a high risk thing. I mean, it might be good for like the Marlins, where the players are more expendable. Should there be a dog attack in the outfield?
I think it would be cool to play. Because they've played, obviously, games in front of no one during COVID. But, you play in front of nobody, but you set up, a film crew to shoot the game like it's a movie.
Oh, so like the Cardinals-Marlins game yesterday.
It's just lobbing you softballs here. But, you get no fans there, take all the fans, you shoot like a film crew. You don't broadcast the game live, and then the next day you edit it and you display it as a movie. Cardinals-Giants, the film.
Wow.
Yeah. Different angles, voiceover work.
Oh, there's voiceover work.
Cool edits.
Nice.
I think that's interesting.
Boy, man, this is a good pitch meeting. I like this.
Yeah, but mostly other countries. I think trying to get baseball out to as many people as possible. I think the England thing is really smart. I think doing it in Mexico is very smart. I think doing it in a bunch of other countries. DR would be cool. Puerto Rico would be cool. I'm into all that.
Bottom line is you're anti-America.
If I have to be, you know what?
God.
If being labeled as anti-America to grow the game of baseball is what's going to be attached to me, I'll take it.
Wow. What a moment. Jackson has acknowledged he is anti-America here at 10:18 on 101 ESPN. Text in your thoughts, 314-399-9646, Air Comfort Service text line, or the YouTube chat. They are active in there. I see Droid Effects, Ryan Crawford, and Daniel Harris are all talking it over. You can as well. YouTube 101 ESPN channel is where you can watch the show. And then Jackson, Bennett, Burkett, and I are talking it over on 101 ESPN and the 101 ESPN app. How many questions are we through? 2?
Well,
That means we have 4 left.
I have a hypothetical Odyssey, which has...
And then you have like an observation deck?
And I have the observation
All
deck.
right, well, that's great.
So we got I got a ton of artillery.
I just want to make sure that there are 6 questions.
Yes. Well, six things. The observation deck isn't necessarily a question.
All right, I'll agree with that. I'll concede that.
But I kind of have a question
about the observation deck.
Well, I think the listeners will have a question about the observation deck, but I have a question attached to the observation deck.
All right, it's all coming your way on Balloon Party. This is a show presented to you by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN. Well, James Carlton at the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency was in studio yesterday, and I am working with him as we speak on our cars that were damaged by the hailstorm a few weeks ago. And it has been such smooth sailing because of the customer service that James and his staff provide. I made the switch to James and his team about 5 years ago, and I'm so happy that I did. And I would love for you to do the same thing if you do by calling 314-961-4800 or going online at carltoninsurance.net. They do all the paperwork for you, and now you're working with the best, and you have that peace of mind. Don't you owe that to yourself and your family to know that everything is taken care of? And as my father would say, buttoned up. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. You don't believe me? You say, Tim, you're doing a spot for him. So, of course, you're going to say great things. I don't even know that you're one of his clients. That's fine. I am. But even if you don't believe me, fine. Go and type his name in Google, and you will see 374 reviews for James Carlton, State Farm Insurance Agency in Webster Groves. CarltonInsurance.net, 314-961-4800. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. Welcome back to Balloon Party 101 ESPN. It's a program driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan. Sitting across from me, ladies and gentlemen, that's Jackson Burkett. He is doing business today, however, as Piddles.
That's right. Yeah, from the hours of 10 to 11, I am Piddles, or just to Jamie Rivers.
Well, you made Jamie Rivers some money on the fast lane the other day with that Goldschmidt call.
Yep, and he showed love too. That's what Jamie's character is. You know, he recognizes that I did him a solid, and he appreciates it and says, "Thank you, Piddles. That was great."
He's sporting. He's a hockey player.
Yeah, he is. And that's another.
Doubt a guy who played in the NBA would do that.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but I am sure that Jamie Rivers is as solid gets. Solid as cedar, I say.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So you guys are back together.
That's my guy. That's
You're
my
like
guy.
Hope and Boo on Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tango, but we're in a good spot right now.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Jackson, we have question 3 of Get Piddles or Die Trying.
No, that was never again. I tried that once. No bueno. This is all work and no piddles makes Jack a dull boy. Hypothetical Odyssey time, Tim.
Yes, I love a hypothetical Odyssey.
I know you do. Let's kick it off.
Ryan Crawford wants you to know he still sees you as Joffrey with your tone and how you talk down to everything.
Interesting. Well, hey, man, the crown is heavy. I think people underestimated that.
Right.
No, I give off more Grey Worm vibes from...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I feel neutered all the time on this program. Will Jordan Walker return to the big leagues in 2024?
Tick-tock, tick-tock,
Man to the
tick-tock.
task.
Wow, I like this. I'm already a fan of the hypothetical.
Yeah.
What is this, Hypothetical Odyssey?
That's right, yeah. It's a real...
Oh, man. Yes.
All right, I'm with you. My answer to that was yes. I think...
In part because sometimes the outfields that they roll out,
That's
I
the
go,
thing.
oh, boy.
Yeah.
How can he not?
That's the thing. And I guess it's kind of...
Doug Vaughn was recalling going to the 1966 All-Star game at Busch Stadium. And he said the outfield for the National League was Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, and Roberto Clemente. And sometimes when I see the Ciani, Carlson
Burleson?
outfield, I think we haven't seen anything like that at Busch Stadium since 66.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel greatness is on the precipice.
Nice. I like that.
Thank you. Who will finish the season with the most home run for the Cardinals? Gorman's currently 15.
Yeah.
Goldie, I think, has 9. I think Burley, I probably should have these information up.
Yeah. I
Being frank here.
I'll tell you, this is tough. I'll go with Gorman, though.
It seems like he's like it's pop or nothing.
That's kind of what he does.
Yeah.
You know what he is? Josh Naylor, who was the first baseman for the Guardians, because I had got the sense that didn't resonate when I said it.
Well, I was trying to... Gorman has 16 as we currently sit, which
I
is
thought he was a defenseman for the Oilers.
really solid. No, that was Petrangelo plays for the
Correct.
Oilers.
Well, that's
Thank
his
you.
partner.
Partners? Okay. We'll address that later. Burleson has 10. Goldie has 9.
Okay.
Arenado Contreras is still 5th in home runs on the team. Tied
Yeah,
for
what
5th.
if he winds up shipping it? That wouldn't necessarily be a good thing.
I'm sorry. He's tied for 4th with Arenado, who's day to day.
Tied for 4th.
But then Lars Newbar is in 7th.
Has he played this year?
This is unbelievable. Brendan Donovan is also tied for 4th. Yeah, I'm going to go with Gorman just because he's pop or nothing. And a little information for you, Tim. I'm going to weave in this information here. Do with it what you will. This guy, Keaton Wynn, he throws a sinker. Throws it 19% of the time.
Started off the season red hot. He's been getting raked. Went on the IL, came back, got raked. What do we got going on with him here? Because this is where Jackson dials in and gives Jamie Rivers plays.
So he throws that sinker 19% of the time. He throws his four-seamer a lot more.
Okay.
But his sinker 90% of the time, it's -7 in run value. Run value is a very confusing stat, but just know that's really bad.
Okay.
Nolan Gorman, his expected slugging percentage versus sinkers, .828.
So you're saying I should do a little prop bet on Nolan Gorman?
Just saying.
What are the dimensions like at Rickwood?
That was a really good Brando. That one. So usually it doesn't
I think it's
sound.
because I don't have my voice today. I can even dial into the character.
That one was like especially good.
Thank you so much.
I don't know the dimensions. I would assume I'm just going to play it as 400 to dead center and then 370, 360 to the
So you're just
corners.
making this up?
100%. I mean, Sports Talk Radio, baby. If you don't know, make it up. and never admit you were wrong.
Jackson's giving out the handbook here. I don't like it. Like a magician giving out the secrets.
In the next 3 years,
Okay.
which do you think is more likely? The Cardinals acquire a player that makes a major impact, or they develop a talent from their system who rises to prominence?
Oh, I mean, what a comeback. It's like you double bogeyed and then you came back and had a really good look for Eagle.
That's right. That's right. And for this question, just to be specific, this player cannot be someone who has had a sustained run in the majors. For example, Jordan Walker is excluded, Victor Scott included.
Okay. They bring in, trade?
Acquire,
Acquire,
sign, trade,
one?
doesn't matter.
God, I don't know which one I hope more. I think if they were to bring in, here, I want you to hear my reasoning.
Okay.
If they were to bring in, trade for, or acquire via free agency a major expense over the next 3 years, that for me would be more calming, because I personally am concerned about the franchise's financials, which and people are like, what are you, a shareholder? I'm like, no, that's not it. I just think there is a real potential situation for the organization with regard to its revenue and the baseball television situation, and it impacting this organization more so than others in its comparable market size. And that concerns me. And I feel like that was telegraphed this offseason. Not to say that they went cheap, but with the duration of the deals. And so I am concerned that the organization is in a purgatory with regard to being aggressive and bringing in somebody who would be a long-term financial obligation. So if in between now and 2027, they did bring in somebody who was a long-term financial obligation, that would tell me that my fears have been mitigated and their potential hesitation, which I'm not certain of, but I think is what's going on, has been tended to, and therefore the franchise has regained its stability. So that is my reasoning. It might be convoluted as hell, but it makes sense to me.
No, so when I wrote this question, I did not have that thought in mind, but I like where you're coming from, where it's not necessarily like the result of the signing, it's that it signals, okay,
that they can do
right,
it.
We're have our head above water, essentially.
Right.
I like that angle of it. I still would go with developing a talent, because I feel like it's kind of like when you go 0 for 12 from the three-point line, you just need to see one go in, and some about like just
what about Mason Wynn?
So I was thinking Mason Wynn. I think like to really feel better about the talent development, 2 or 3 guys. So you have Wynn, you could argue Gorman, just no one pitching-wise. Like when I say that more so, it's pitching.
Listen, that's why this question's good, because you really can make a case for both.
Yeah.
I am making the observation, and I don't know how many people are making this observation who, host shows, podcasts, write, whatever the case might be. But I really do think that there is a concern, and I could be off on that. I want to make that clear, but I feel like that was my theory, and then their actions this offseason have conveyed that their actions have backed up the theory, and that you only have 2 players under contract beyond 26. I mean, that's pretty rare for an organization like the Cardinals, and who knows if Arenado will finish off the deal, and that could lower it to 1 with Contreras. So with that all established, that is my reasoning, because I think this television deal is so substantial for the way that they are doing business. But maybe the reason they don't talk about it is because fans go, I don't care. Number 1, you're a billionaire. Number 2, there's 3 million people coming through the turnstiles, so figure it out.
Right.
I don't know.
Yep.
Whereas I feel like the Blues are more transparent, but they also are in a cap league. So with that all established, you can make a case for both. But that's my reasoning, because I'm really concerned because of the reason why you chose the latter option. And that is, if there is no young pitching or limited young pitching in the pipeline, and you also have an aging roster, both with regard to the rotation and your corner infielders, and Jordan Walker's development is, to be polite, in question, you got a real situation here, especially if the organization is concerned that the $60 million in television revenue is now going to be I don't know. Any number I say is totally speculative, but let's say it's cut by a third. So now it's $40 million, and that might be conservative. And so they have to alter the manner with which they do business. So from a franchise stability mindset, that hasn't been something Cardinal fans have ever really had to worry about.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the early 90s after Gussie Busch died and the brewery lost its interest, but then they sold to Bill DeWitt Jr.'s group. So that's where I'm coming from on it. I feel like this is similar to, and I made this analogy on TMA yesterday. This is similar to, but not nearly as egregious as when I was hosting TMA in 2012, 13, 14, and 15. Games were going on with the Rams, but to talk about the result of a game more so than the franchise's stability in St. Louis, to me, would be disingenuous and also burying the lead. And I'm not saying that the Cardinals are moving. I want to make that clear. I'm just saying I think there is a unique spot that the organization is in, and the first time it's been in this spot since Bill DeWitt bought the organization 3 decades ago. And so that is why that is of importance to me. Your thoughts are welcome, 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. And then you have the YouTube chat where they're talking it over. Yeah, Ryan Crawford's talking about it. He says Walker can't hit the curve. If he can't hit the curve, his MLB career may be over. It could be over, I'm sorry. Daniel Harris says sell the team, move to Nashville, and bring in a lacrosse club. So I don't know if that's question 4.
I played lacrosse for 2 years. I was really bad.
Is that right?
I got lit up one time, and I said, all right, that'll do it.
You're not a contact guy.
I'm a contact guy. I'm not a collision guy.
It's going to surprise the Great Bape Auto Detailing.
I mean, I fired it down the field. As soon as it left my pole, I got hit dead center of the chest, and I fell ass backwards. My feet were above my head, and that's when I realized, the sport isn't for me.
Who got you? What squad got you?
Some rough hewn from Ellisville.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, someone. I don't know. I was in Maryland Heights. I was getting crushed. Not for me.
I thought you said I would only play at MICDS's pitch.
They have beautiful athletic fields there. Truly.
That's surprising.
Bad right, gym, though.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to break. Jackson's got more questions with Piddler on the Roof.
Piddler on the Roof's a classic. I'll run that one back eventually. No, this one's all work and no piddles makes Jack a dull boy.
There you go. That's coming up. It's Balloon Party 101 ESPN.
This is Action Jackson with a Sports Center update. That's brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals lose yesterday. Final score of 4-3 to the Miami Marlins. They drop 2 of 3 to the Marlins on that weekday series, but they are playing again tonight, taking on the Giants at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Andre Pallante on the mound for your Redbirds. 6:15 is going to be the first pitch. And a little bit of NBA offseason news. The Pacers are expected to sign Pascal Siakam to a $189.5 million max contract. Shout out to Spicy P. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Did I just get a Pascal Siakam update? He did resign?
Yes, he is resigning.
Okay.
With the Pacers. So, hey, some more hope in Indianapolis, and that's great.
So your thoughts on Siakam resigning with the Pacers? 314-399-9646. Then you got the YouTube chat as well. Jackson, what is our next question here on all work, no piddles makes Jack a bad boy?
Close enough.
Thank you.
We often talk about not being results-oriented and that a quality process is more important. Do you think with the Cardinals over the last decade or so, they've been results-driven or process-driven? When looking at the big picture, it would seem like they have been results-driven based on their 2 world championships. However, they seem desperately stuck in a process that has yet to yield results on the talent development and acquisition side. Do you agree with this takeaway, and do you think a more uniform approach to their mindset would lead to a clearer path in the coming years?
Boy, there's a lot of meat on the bone. You're talking about the 2 world championships that would be outside of the last decade, 06 and 11.
Right. I'm sorry, I meant this century.
This century?
Yeah.
So the question is this century. Well, this century's been incredibly successful.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, it's been pretty rough.
Right.
I don't know how it could have been more successful than 2000 through 2015.
It was the best.
I don't know. I mean, I guess people would say the Red Sox, they had 3 world championships, the Giants.
Yeah, but in terms of just being there every year, I don't know if anyone could top the Cardinals. No down years except for 07.
Yeah, and I mean, it was really something else. Yeah, I just, you know what? I mean, if you were to take a step back and go, okay, what is it about the Cardinals over the last decade that has frustrated you? And I'll open that up. I'll open up to the YouTube chat and the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. I'm not saying name 8 things, What is it? Because I know that that's there. And this is a brainstorm.
Yeah, but I like brainstorms.
Okay. Letting go of players who wind up killing it elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can add Paul DeYoung to the list, which is an amazing thing. Now we can't act like we all wanted Paul DeYoung around.
No.
We can't do that.
I can't.
Can't do that.
No.
But he is raking for the White Sox. He isn't hitting necessarily for average, but he is hitting home runs.
Crushing it, yeah.
He's on the Gorman-Naylor plan. Then you would have free agent signings that have just been lighting money on fire. What would be your favorite?
Of the lighting money on fire, Mike Leake, tough one. I guess I could understand a little bit more on Dexter Fowler, so I can't cite that one, but I would go either Leake or Andrew Miller.
Brett Cecil.
Ooh, yeah.
He's live.
Those are tough.
I don't know if it's as egregious. Steven Matz.
Yeah. That's been,
and then to trade away players for, players that you're sold, as in they're going to be great. We saw one get a surprise start yesterday in Liberatore, and then Arozarena immediately contribute, to the Rays' success right when he gets over there. So, if you want to go to the Ozuna trade with giving away Alcantara and Gallen, it's a number of moves. And I don't think that maybe people would say, well, I don't like this guy's effort, right? It's this guy in the dugout because Matheny caught hell forever. Mm-hmm. Schilt didn't catch as much hell at all, I don't think. And then Marmol catches hell, although he wasn't catching hell really until game 1 of the Phillies series.
Right.
And then the season ends the next day, and they finish in last place the next season. and then he gets a contract extension. So now he is in the crosshairs. But for me, observing this and talking about it on a daily basis since 2002, the first ones are the ones that stand out to me, and those are front office issues. With the Marmol thing, it's front office giving him an extension, but overall, I think these are front office issues. And then you go, okay, well, that's a lot of stuff from the front office. What has changed? And then you go, nothing has changed. And so I think at the root, the fan base goes, my God, look at all these mistakes by the front office, and then there's no accountability for it. So does the organization really put forth winning as the priority if the front office can continue to make so many mistakes and not have some form of a shakeup? Mm-hmm. That, I think, is Roman numeral number one in the outline of why fans are super frustrated. And why I also think that some people, which totally goes against the way that they either were raised or have been fans throughout their lives, actually found themselves or find themselves this season rooting against the team because they feel like that is the only way there will be change.
Right.
And so that is something that is brand new. Frustration, to me, it's brand new. I mean, I remember that there was time where there was frustration with La Russa before they won the pennant in 2004. But it wasn't nearly as high as the disapproval that the organization has right now. Yeah. So that I think, if I were to try to, figure out why, I think that's it. Because at this point, you're not talking about one bad move. You're talking about a good number of them. And while you might not have been happy that Marmol pulled Quintana or brought in Helsley when he did, or he didn't pull Helsley, if we're going to circle the game one against the Phillies, most of what the frustration is rooted in are front office moves. And yet the same front office that has been charged with rebuilding from being in last place is the one that was responsible for the organization making the moves that have been the source of consternation for the fan base. Yeah. Jackson, there is my master's thesis for June 20th, 2024.
Yeah, I think that's rock solid. I think if I had to narrow it down to me, it's just, when you look at the success.
You don't like the Red Hats on the road.
Despise them. I have a lot of issues with the uniform, but we'll get to those later. In the 21st century, the teams that were successful, not just World Series winners, but successful, were created around drafted homegrown products. Albert Pujols drafted, Yachty drafted. Obviously, Waino was acquired, but as acquired while he's still a minor leaguer. Like, those have been everything around. So when you have Goldschmidt and Arenado, and who's to complain about how they got Goldschmidt and Arenado? Absolutely outstanding work. However, you're getting them on the back end of their career. We got to see Albert Pujols on the front end of his career when he was arguably the best player of the modern era. So it's so frustrating because it's not like they didn't have some of those players. They just play other places now. Like, all the time we complain about, there's no young pitching. The young pitching is in Miami, and the young pitching is in Arizona. That replaces Lance Lynn. That replaces Kyle Gibson. You save the money on $20 million a year. That's another player you can get right there. I mean, that, I think, is what's just so frustrating, is they can acquire the talent, they can draft the talent, they just can't develop it or understand who's going to be good and who's going to be bad.
And then I think the thing that adds fuel to the fire is, because this fan base, and I don't like to do the thing where you thank the fans and talk about how great the fans, because I just think it's performative.
I'll leave it to me. I'll take care of that.
Absolutely. But I'm in sincerity, because unlike in most markets, baseball is part of the lifeblood of this community, this region. It's not that fans necessarily know baseball better so much as it's part of our lives more so than most major league markets. And we also have been fortunate enough to see so many good teams. It would really be tough for me to rank the 4 best teams in the Cardinal organization since 2000, because you got a bunch of pennant winners and you got some world champions and you got a bunch of division winners. It would be difficult. I think most people would immediately default to 2004, for example, but then you go, oh, they didn't win the World Series, so you put 2011 and 2006. Point being, there's been a bunch, which means we've seen some really good baseball. And so, in addition to being frustrated with the moves of the front office also continues to tell us that things are okay. And because we've seen good teams, we know that this isn't it. the weird dynamic that exists in 2024, and it's why I talk about it so often, but it truly does bother me as a baseball fan, is that they could flop around, still get in the playoffs, which they would be in right now, I guess. You know, I mean, there's new 3 teams in the wild card every day in the National League, and then make a run.
Yep.
I mean, that's that, and so then it becomes, oh, well, but you know that isn't usually the way that works. But now, over the last couple of years, that is, and so, but you know, going into the season, I think you did anyway, that this team was highly unlikely to win 90-plus games.
Right.
It was possible, of course, but highly unlikely. And so, therefore, the system has created, in part, rewarding mediocrity. And if you're a business owner, I got to be honest with you, I kind of don't blame you for doing it, because your talent for a year is not judged by the 162-game marathon. It's judged by this best of 300-yard dash, or that you can survive the week off that historically has actually plagued playoff teams. And so baseball has created a self-fulfilling prophecy of tamping down teams' aggressiveness. And therefore, we see a bunch of teams hovering around 500 in the National League. Your thoughts, 314-399-9646, Balloon Party, 101 ESPN. 10:56 in St. Louis, 4 minutes left, Jackson. I asked the people what's frustrated them about the Cardinals the most over the last 10 years, and I want to read the text in the Air Comfort text line. Is that all right?
That's fine. If we have some time after, I'll do the observation deck.
Oh, I want the observation deck.
You read them.
Okay. Real simple. 14 years since the last championship. That's the 314. It's simple mediocrity. It's disappointing. All the MLB, except for like 5 or 6 teams, are disappointing. The MLB is dying. Take a note from the NFL. More advertising and more downtime is how you succeed. That's from the 636. All you need to say is this. I can make a better roster, 1 through 26, of ex-Cardinals on other teams than current Cardinals. Also, it would be a cheaper salary than now. That's from the 618. That is a hell of a text.
Yeah, the last one.
That's poignant.
Yeah.
Let's see. Any truth to the rumor Jackson refers to his love as Rickwood? Okay, that isn't. But if you want to confirm or deny that. So, yes, that's a yes. I mean, I've sat at the World Series of Poker main event many a year. I picked up a read.
My headphones tripped out there. Oh, now we're back. Actually, I'm fiddling with it. Actually messed up my headphones. That was a bad idea, Jack.
So you are confirming that, though?
No comment.
Guys, what I hate most about the Cardinals is how they pay off young midday sports talk radio personalities to tell listeners that a series loss to the worst team in the league is a character builder.
Hey, man.
Marcia's burner. Do we have tickets for him?
If the check clears, you just feed me talking points, baby.
All right, Jackson, what do we got for the observation deck? I can't wait to hear this.
So I went to my first St. Louis City SC game last night.
Yes.
First time at the Doggies game, first time at City Park, and 10 out of 10 experience. Like the fan experience, the stadium.
You got an Olive and Oak burger.
You got an Olive and Oak burger, delicious
you love the fries. And you didn't even eat any catsup?
You didn't need catsup. The seasonings were so plentiful and yummy that you didn't even need the ketchup. It was just an outstanding experience top to bottom. The team got trounced. There's no doubt about it.
3-0.
3-0. They missed a PK off the woodwork, and
Nice.
and it just, the game itself wasn't great, but the experience, got to see Jeremy Macklin. J-Mac was out there. Love seeing Jeremy Macklin, and I've loved it. Like, really, they did everything right from a fan experience point. Now, that's the observation deck. The question I have.
Oh, wow. It's
because
10:59. BK and Ferrario, sorry.
Real quick. I loved it because it was my first game. I'm wondering if.
Oh, you're talking sustainability all of a sudden.
If the product on the field, like, no longer I actually think they would be better if they swap seasons. Like, if last season they were kind of down and then this season they were really, really good.
I get what you're saying.
Because I'm a little nervous the honeymoon comes to an end. What does the turnout look like?
It's a great question. It certainly warrants way more time than what we have. I actually think, and you talked about this, how you noticed how it was such a different atmosphere than, say, other sporting events in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Younger.
Mm-hmm.
You made a comment on the BMIs and how you compared and contrasted, but I felt like that was fat-shaming fan bases, and I didn't want that on the air.
Yeah, I'd rather just admit it was Rickwood.
And so I think the atmosphere is what brings people out more than the actual games. Yeah. I really do.
Probably.
Don't get me wrong. There are plenty of people who love the game of soccer and love having it in St. Louis. But I think for more, it's like, this is an incredible atmosphere. It's different than anything else we have in town. Yeah. That's why I want to be there. And I think that has sustainability.
Would agree. Well,
so
I would agree.
That's where I am.
Yeah, and the building's too small. And the building's too small for them to, like, really be down. Like, 22,000, granted, it's a lot of people, but relatively, it's half the size of our stadium.
City Park and MICDS gets shamed on this program today.
Improved the gym, MICDS. You can't even put up a full court shot. It's going to hit the ceiling.
Jackson, we got to go. BK and Ferrario are up next. For Jackson Bennett Burkett, I'm Timothy Michael McKernan. This has been Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess, Burkhardt, Alton Toyota on 101 ESPN and the 101 ESPN YouTube channel.